Welcome back to EpicAirsoftHD. I was going to leave this as a kind of surprise, but I guess the video title and the fact that we've got the box here is a kind of giveaway. This is the Magpul PDR-C. We've been trying to get our hands on this for a wee while, and we've actually got an exclusive from patrolbase.co.uk, which you can check out, the links in the description below. So let's get this gun out and have a look at it. Later on in the show, we're going to do a chrono test, our 30-meter shooting test as well, to see how accurate the gun is. So stay tuned if you want to see that. Alright, out of the box impressions. Actually, the construction of it feels pretty damn solid. If you drop this or fell on it, it's more likely going to break you. It's kind of polymer construction here is very, very good quality. I expect that of Magpul, of course. They're actually a real steel manufacturer, and this is a PTS line. So we expect that kind of thing to travel onto the manufacturer techniques of their professional training simulation gear. So that's all good to know. So let's look at some of the features of the gun. We'll start from the back here. You've got a rubberized butt plate, again very solid. Doesn't feel like the CTR kind of stock ones that you feel like you can almost peel them off. The glue comes away. This is actually really solid. I'm actually pulling pretty hard on it, so yeah, I guess that's going to stay on pretty good. This cheek piece here gives you access to the hop unit, so I'll take that off so you can see that. We've had a fill around with this already in the shooting range just to see how well it performs. So yeah, cheek piece comes off, and inside there you've got your hop unit. The hop unit adjustment wheel doesn't really give you a direction, but it's right for off and left for on, so I'll just footer about with that there. Later on we'll show you how effective the hop unit is. I've had a lot of criticism on the internet, so it'd be good to see kind of firsthand how that actually performs. So cheek piece goes back on pretty easily. Just slide it into place here and give it a little slam down, clicks in. Up here you've got your top 20mm Riz rail, quite prominent, and although it's made of polymer, it's actually quite robust looking. So we're going to put a scope on top of this, or a red dot. Let's go for this element here. Not used this one for a while, so hopefully the spacings on them are relatively okay. We'll get this up kind of midway. So you can put any sort of 20mm scope, red dot, iron sights up here you want. This gun actually doesn't come with iron sights, which is a bit of a letdown. This gun's costing about £320 from Patrol Base, so I guess Magpul could have put up, I don't know, a set of M-bus sights or something on it at least. But there you go, red dot on top, and actually it cheeks really well, and you get a good kind of aim down the sight. That's actually a really nice height, so if you're looking for a scope to go on it, I guess that kind of fits the bill. Really nice looking. Charging handle is non-functional, just racks backwards and forward, doesn't open up to reveal battery compartments, anything like that, hop units. Also you've got this is quite a neat feature that's on the real steel version of this that isn't actually made, so I guess they've just done this as a nice wee feature. This actually moves the shell ejection from right to left, so if you're in a situation and you've got this gun on a vehicle or something like that, you can stop the shells hitting the driver in the face by just switching it over and it chucks out the left hand side. Or if you're out in the field and you want the shell not to pop in your kind of line and break your contact with your enemy, then I guess you could switch it over to the right hand side. But for airsoft purposes, it's just a little cool feature that they've put on here. Magazine release is where you would expect an M4 magazine release to be. All the features on this gun are actually ambidextrous, so we've got magazine release here, and it goes, and of course if you're a lefty as well, you can feel really awkward in the left hand, I don't know why. You can actually pop it out on this side as well, so pretty neat little feature. That obviously translates to airsoft pretty well, so if you're a left-hander, this gun is pretty much ideal for you. All the features there are basically designed so that you can do that, so pretty nice. Mag compatibility, let's talk about that. One thing I will note is we really struggled to get the magazine to actually lock into place. The mechanism inside, which we'll show you a close-up of, when I push the button here, it's really slow and sluggish, and sometimes it locks back into place, so you can't actually get a magazine to lock into the mag well, which is really frustrating, especially if you're out there on the field. We were only here testing the gun, so it's an absolute pain. And of course the mag well, where the BBs run into the hop unit, is a lot longer than a standard M4 hop unit or such, so you lose about 10 BBs every time you kind of struggle to get it in there, which is an absolute pain. All right, let's try a Stanag mag, which we've not done before, so it'll be interesting to see if it locks in. It does lock in, but as you can see, there's quite a lot of wobble there, and that's going to be very interesting with feeding issues, I guess. Once we get out to the shooting range, we'll try that out and see if it actually feeds. So let's get this one out. So Not too impressed with that. This is an Emag, so I would just assume this would lock into place, and that's a much nicer fit there. There's no wobble at all. Well, there's a tiny bit there, side to side, but much, much better. The magazine that comes with it, of course, is an ideal fit. I think that's only a 20 round magazine, so you're going to struggle as well. This is not an ideal first gun, put it that way. It doesn't come with a battery, and it comes with a 20 round mag, so you're going to have to get yourself batteries to fit in it, inside it, which we're going to do now. The battery's actually kept in this little grip. I've heard a criticism about this as well. The grip's actually not that bad. I can fit my hand on it, no problem. If you've got bigger hands, your pinky's going to slip off here. That might be a little bit uncomfortable, but it's an airsoft gun. You know, you need to have a bit of an open mind when you're talking about something as compact as this. When you start adding features onto it, then you're going to lose that kind of compact size, which is the main feature of this gun, I suppose. I do have a small Lipo battery here as an example. This is a VP racing battery. It's an 850 milliamp, 7.4 volt, 30C Lipo. It fits in here really well actually, so there are batteries that will fit inside, and of course that clicks into place. I'm going to disconnect this quickly because I've not got eye protection on, and you can never be too sure, so we'll put this little piece back in again, and we'll, obviously when we get to the shooting test you'll see the kind of performance that it has. The front flash hider, it's a bit of a disappointment. It's a really cool flash hider, I'll give it that, but 40mm counterclockwise, comes out no problem. I've got a couple of mock suppressors, none of which fit because inside here it kind of narrows over where you would screw in on the thread, and you can't really get anything in there. I've got a Noveski flash hider, fire pig on there, but the original one, to be honest, looks just as good. I guess you could get a little extension out there if you wanted to give this thing a suppressor, but the diameter here is not really accommodating for such things, so I guess that's just a small letdown. If you want to put a suppressor on there, then you're going to be struggling. So just trying to get all the features on it. Later on, Magpul will be releasing a sort of flashlight for this little compartment here. This pops off and you can replace it with a flashlight. I think that'd be really cool. It'd be nice to see, you know, like custom made parts for the gun itself. So if you're planning on getting a hold of one of these and customizing it, then you've got quite a lot of options, even though there isn't a lot of rail space on it. In fact, there's hardly any at all other than the top. So let's take this out to the chronograph test, and then we'll go straight to the shooting test. Okay, we're out here on the chronograph test. I've already fired a couple of BBs through it, but we're going to go show you and prove to you what FPS the gun's shooting at. So we're using 0.2 gram blaster BBs. The hop unit is wound completely off. A lot of people were asking about that. Yeah, the hop unit's completely wound off. It's a lot of standard kind of sight rules that has to be wound off, but I don't really see the use in that, because when you get your hop unit wound on, then if your FPS is 300 FPS, that's what you're running the gun at. So let's go for it. Quite a hot reading on those last ones. 365, 360. So if you're in your UK, you're going to have to get a downgrade on it. That one was almost 370, so quite a disaster there. Downgrade on this is pretty easy to do. One of the most standard gearboxes, so you just take it apart, new spring, and bam, you get a downgrade. I think Patrol Base do that for you for around about £20, I'm sure. So you can check that out on the website, and you can obviously do that. Let's go for a rate of fire test. It'll be interesting to see how well it does. Alright, the gun's only shooting about 9.6 rounds per second. Not that impressive for a 7.4 volt Lipo, but I guess if you go on CQB, then it's kind of more than reasonable. So let's take it out on a shooting test just to see how accurate the gun is. Okay, we're out on a 30-metre range. Of course, we're using the Vice as a steady. We do this for all our reviews because what we're looking for is a benchmark test. We're looking for the gun's accuracy and not mine. We're using 0.25 gram BBs for the test, like we've been doing previously. We've changed from the 3s because a lot of people were complaining that 3s aren't really a common use for a BB. So we evolved the show to kind of suit you guys' needs. So 0.25s are what we're using. All right, let's go and put some rounds down semi-auto. The PDR-C has a really unique trigger, much like the AUG. Half trigger pull does a semi-auto, like a single shot for every pull, and if you pull the trigger all the way in, it bumps onto full auto. So we're doing semi-automatic first, then we'll move on to full auto. Sometimes you get a difference between accuracies between semi-auto and full auto. So let's go semi-auto. All right, let's have a look at that target, and then we'll move on to full auto. Okay, now we're going to move on to fully automatic. Sometimes we get a difference between semi and full auto, so it's interesting to see that looking at different guns. So let's have a look. I'm just going to sight the gun exactly where we were before and have another go at the target. We mentioned before that the Emags, they feed very well. Actually, we did the shooting test with them, but we're going to try the kind of standard Stanag mag. These ones are made by Mag, and we've tried another couple as well. They both have the same wobble. These ones kind of feed the best, so we're going to go try this in the gun to see if it actually will feed BBs into the hop-up chamber, regardless of how wobbly it is. It's ridiculously wobbly. Actually, I can almost pull it out, so it'll be interesting to see if it actually feeds the gun. It doesn't. I'm going to try and push it up into the mag well now to see if that helps it. Nah, I've actually done this a few times with different types of magazines. It just does not like Stanag mags at all. The only magazines it seems to take are the Emags, the PMags, and of course the type of magazine it came with is a 20 round version of the PMag. It's a little bit of a disappointment, so if you get M4 mags, you need to be very careful. No doubt there'll be some M4 mags out there on the market that will feed in this gun, but if you want to be perfectly sure that your gun is going to work and is going to feed properly, I would definitely roll with Emags or PMags for sure. All right, we'll look at these targets now and we'll compare them against the other guns that we've tested before. Okay, let's have a look at those targets. First off, the semi-auto target that we did. We've got a kind of 3 BBs struck this area and 2 up here. The rest are a couple of flyers. You get 1 up here, across this side and down here as well. So not too sure about that. It's pretty damn accurate for a kind of compact gun. But when we move on to the fully automatic test, you can see it really shines out there. So if you're 30 meters out from someone, you're guaranteed to hit them every single time. So that's always good to know. So from a gun as compact as it is, it's actually done really well on the shooting test. So worth its £320 in performance wise. Guys, you can always check out Patrol Base. We'll put a direct link to kind of look at this gun and purchase it. The link's in the description below. Also, they can do the downgrade, so don't forget to do that. I'll put a link to that as well, which is pretty neat. Check them out on Facebook, and they also have a YouTube channel you can check out as well, so that's, don't forget to have a look at that. Guys, we're on Facebook too. We'll be uploading pictures, all that kind of good stuff. You'll be able to see what we're going to be reviewing next. Next week we'll either have the F2000, which you guys have been begging us to do for about 1.5 years now, and we also have the VFC 416, which is also a pretty damn interesting gun. Be interesting to see how it stacks against the 417 and the G&G version. So guys, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss that, and we'll see you next week.